The shoe finally dropped on Hunter Biden. The president's son was indicted in California on a bunch of tax-related charges. Apparently, he forgot to pay about $1.5 million in taxes between 2016 and 2019. It happens. Forget Hunter, though. What does this mean for his father? Let's go into the Saturday Agenda Law Department and bring in Thane Rosenbaum, a distinguished professor at Touro University, and constitutional attorney Bruce Del Valle. So, Special Prosecutor David Weiss may have been humiliated enough by the judge and the IRS whistleblowers that he actually did his job and brought charges against Hunter. Hunter still got away with crimes because they ran out the clock on previous tax years. So, Thane, the indictment alludes to the president's brother and a bunch of the Biden business partners. What does this all mean, and how much closer are they getting to the big guy?
Well, Rob, at this point, the key points are that there was luxury spending by a person who was the son of a former vice president, who spent money on luxury cars, women, apartments, hotels, and chose not to spend money on his taxes. So this case really isn't right now about, well, where did you really get the money from, which is really what the Oversight Committee is about. And if there's an impeachment inquiry, that's where it'll begin. But it already doesn't look good, right? Because the minute you start hearing about shell corporations and millions of dollars, this was a $1.4 million tax obligation that he didn't spend. And you know what? This is when you think about this, could have been some of this would have gone away had they merely accepted the deal as it was presented to them over the summer. If I was Hunter Biden, I would have said, I accept the deal. I understand you might come after me later, but I think you'll treat me more favorably. But please leave my father alone. And now all bets are off.
Yeah, that's called arrogance. So, Bruce, how does the DOJ and Weiss skate free, really, after they got caught with their pants down, right? That immunity deal that Thane was talking about, they really tried to get away with a lot, and it looks really more rotten and scandalous. The facts haven't changed, though, so why all of a sudden an indictment and felony charges?
Well, you're exactly right, Rob. It does look bad. I think because they have to. They can't ignore it anymore. The fact that Hunter Biden is now complaining through his lawyer, Abby Lowell, that he is only getting indicted because he's a Biden is extraordinary. It's absolutely evil. It's like a drug lord careening down the highway in a van full of fentanyl and cocaine, running over people, whining about being charged with having a taillight and an improper lane change. All of it, he just didn't pay taxes on his illegal bribes, his illegal kickbacks, his illegal behavior. So they have missed the big picture. They have missed the ball. So this is a little bit of makeup. But remember, Al Capone went to prison only because they could stick him with tax charges. So that's what they're trying to do. The downfall, however, is the true underlying crimes, of which there are many. I don't think America has seen many more people that are more amoral than Hunter Biden. He is a national disgrace. But his underlying crimes will come back against his father, because there's no question his father was involved. There's no question Hunter Biden never registered with FARA as a foreign agent for China or the Ukraine. And there's no question he met with his son, that the President Biden met with his son. So it's the Biden family business to sell influence. I think it's more properly pronounced buy them, because that's what you do. You buy them. I actually was involved in a case with President Biden's brother where he was selling his last name for charter school issues a few years ago, about a decade ago in Florida. That's what these guys do. And I think now it's starting to come to light. But Hunter Biden is perhaps the most amoral man in America, but he's also a very lucky man. The fact that he's only facing tax charges, he's very lucky. And I don't see how he can get out of tax charges. You almost never get out of them.
Well, what's not in these charges is important too, right? So you mentioned, not registering as a foreign agent, money laundering, bribery maybe. So Thane, why do you think those were not included?
Well, they still might be at some point, right? They simplified the case. They started out in Delaware, right, Rob? And they said, all right, let's do the gun charge and the failure and the lying on a federal form there. They went to California because that's where he was living and did the tax charges, the evasion and filing false returns. But remember, David Weiss himself asked the Attorney General, put me back in, coach, which I have to say, when I was on Newsmax, I said, isn't it weird that the Attorney General didn't ask him, as if the Attorney General didn't see a need to continue this prosecution. It was David Weiss who said, give me special powers and let me go back in, Coach. So at least he's demonstrated that he doesn't fear the Bidens or the Democratic Party. And it may be possible that in opening up these inquiries for impeachment purposes in Congress, it also opens up further charges of money laundering and failure to file as a foreign agent for the son.
He's Thane Rosenbaum, Bruce Del Valle on the right there. Thanks, guys. We really appreciate it. And back with us here in studio is our ambassador and gunnery sarge, Jesse Jane. So, you know, we didn't get to Donald Trump, but something big happened during the